breaking news.
That breaking news right now at noon, a major insurance and financial services company has agreed to pay $6.7 million to some of the victims of an alleged Ponzi scheme that was tied to First Liberty and Loan. Thanks for being with us. I'm Brooks Baptiste.
And I'm Cyria Sandlin. Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger announcing the agreement with Bankers Life Advisory Services and Bankers Life Securities. He says dozens of investors were drawn in by former financial advisor Nathan Darnell, who allegedly steered more than 40 clients into the scheme without the company's knowledge or approval. The Secretary of State says more than 150 people submitted complaints saying they were victims of the scheme.
People are embarrassed. When you've been hoodwinked and someone has really basically come alongside you, they said, I'm a strong Christian. They said, well, I'm a strong Christian. I'm a conservative. Well, I'm a strong conservative, and so they've just kind of lulled into that false sense that you could trust these people, and it's a betrayal. But they just want to really kind of roll up in a ball. But we're doing everything we can to get their money back.
Well, Raffensperger has already levied millions of dollars in fines against Darnell and other First Liberty executives, and says Bankers Life is now stepping up to help. And all 46 investors will see their money made whole, about 1/3 of the victims who have come forward to the state so far.